What a fucking disappointment. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, my name is V and welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about the first 6 episodes of the new Love is Blind season 9. And guys, I just have to be honest, this season is completely and utterly trash. To be honest, I just think they just need to scrap this all together and just throw it out and start over, because there is not one single couple that I'm rooting for. There is not one single couple that I believe in. It is so disappointing, but let's get into it. Let's start off with the first couple, Ali and Anton. Where do I begin with this couple? I thought that the guy, Anton, was talking about himself constantly, repeatedly. I don't know if it was just me or if it was a bad edit, but it seemed like that guy had zero interest in knowing her. He asked zero questions about her. And on the other hand, Ali was all over him. She was like completely enamored, in love, for no apparent reason. He was just blabbering. And at some points, her face expressions were just completely like, I'm here, like I exist too, brother. Like it was so weird. And all of a sudden she starts like saying, I love you out of nowhere. It was like so rushed. And I don't know if, again, it could be the bad edit, but it felt very rushed and just inauthentic. It felt like she wanted to do everything to get past the pods. However, it was ridiculous how this guy had zero interest in her, had zero interest in finding out who she is as a person. And you out here saying, I love you? Like, when they met each other, it felt like he was disappointed somehow. It felt like he was just there to be there. And it could be just his personality that he doesn't show much emotion. But when he went back in on his side of the pod, of the doors, he went to go and get more champagne. He took his bottle, poured some champagne. He didn't even look at her. And I don't know what it is. That is supposed to be a sacred moment. You're supposed to be in the moment. You're supposed to be like, I don't know, in love, in the moment, in lust. I don't know. He just looked jaded. He just looked like, this is just a regular day. I'm just going to get my champagne. Brother, are you like that starved of alcohol? I don't understand. Somebody please explain it to me. Why did that man, as soon as they went back into their little section, why did he go straight for the champagne bottle instead of actually being in the moment and actually looking back and, I don't know, reflecting on the moment, looking at the girl that you were supposedly supposed to get married to? That was not genuine at all to me. I have zero hopes for this couple. And if they do get married, to be honest, they're going to be divorced within a year. That's my prediction for this couple. But let's move past that little awkward meetup with them. During the holidays, I sensed a bit of hope. He was still very distant, in my opinion, but he was a bit more attentive at the pool party. And I don't know if this was just because everybody was there. Again, we're not there with them 24/7. There was a moment where they were just on a floaty in the pool, just talking. And that was actually cute. However, was that just for show? Because a lot of the girls at the pool party were commenting, oh my word, he's so attentive. He's so cute. Was that on purpose? Was that done for looks, for appearances? I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't think it's genuine. I think that this couple is very mismatched, and I don't even understand how they fell in love with each other in the first place. There was not a lot of substance there to begin with. He was blabbering and she was like, oh my word, I love you. I just feel like this is fake, and this was an agreed upon relationship to get to the altar, say your nose, move past it, and go for the fame. That's what it's looking like for me. Moving on. Let's talk about Madison and Joe. This couple, I don't know what to make of it. This couple gave me a little bit of hope in the beginning. It seemed like they had spoken quite a bit extensively about different things, about their thoughts on how their life would look like. And they spoke about her condition, about how she has a condition that could lead to blindness, and he actually questioned her on it, and he was worried, and you could see that in his face as well, that he was worried that this was like a shocker for him. However bland this couple was, when they met, it was all lovey-dovey. They were kissing. They were like, oh my word, she's gorgeous. She's amazing. She's perfect. She's gorgeous. And as well, on the other side, she was just like, oh my word, he's so cute. He's amazing. He's whatever. It was all lovey-doveys, good comments, whatever. Then we get to the holiday. That's where the whole drama spiel starts, where he admits that he's not really attracted to her. He's more attracted to slimmer girls. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, this girl is not heavy at all. However, I understand the man's preference, but weight can be lost. The fact that he said that means that he does not find her attractive, that he doesn't like her. Weight changes. Even the slim girls that he will eventually get later on, their weight will fluctuate. At some point, she might be slim, but in the future, she could gain weight. Then what? You gonna divorce her because she's not slim enough for you? I was a little bit disturbed, and by golly, everybody is allowed to have a preference. The new excuse, oh, it's my preference. However, that was pretty darn offensive. That man had shown clear signs that he was not interested in her. He has zero respect for that girl. There was a little like scenario or incident that happened at the pool party with them. At first, I was playing devil's advocate. I really was like, what's going on? They're having fun. They're guys. I mean, a lot of guys, when they get together, they do act like frat boys. They like to play around. However, as we start to get more and more into the scene, I was just noticing how disrespectful and just horrible he was to her. He completely disregarded her feelings. He disregarded how she felt. Granted, he was drunk. Let's just say it out loud. He was drunk. The man was drunk. However, are you that irresponsible that you are at a meet and greet? You're meeting other people that have been in a dating scene with you. You're meeting these people for the first time, and you choose to drink yourself that drunk, to leave that as your first impression? I agree with Sarah. You're embarrassing me. How are you a grown man and you're going to drink yourself that drunk on a first meet and greet when you're going to meet all these people? And these are people you don't even, yes, you've been in the pods together, but you don't know them like that. And that's the impression you want to leave on these people. That to me was completely and utterly disrespectful. Same thing goes to the other guy. What is his name again? Oh my word, I forgot the other guy's name. Jordan. All the other guys were attentive to their wives or wives to be, their fiancés, except for him. He didn't care. He couldn't care less. And that just shows you the level of respect he has towards this girl. He doesn't see her the way she sees him. If this guy genuinely had an inch of a feeling towards this girl, he wouldn't have behaved the way that he did. Because this is looking like somebody that you just mess around with, but you're too embarrassed to show around to your friends. That is the vibe that it's giving. Because it looks like he is the type of guy that if he doesn't like you, and if he doesn't really see you as one of his preferences, that he is more than likely going to go to a party with you, either without you or start making fun of you with his friends. That is the vibe that he's giving me. And I could be completely wrong here, but I just really didn't like the whole scene. It was horrible. He was disrespectful, disregarding her and her feelings. And I understand that at some point she was a little bit too much. The guy was drunk. You can't have a logical conversation with a drunk person. Keep it short. Let him make a fool of himself so you can fully understand the kind of man that you're about to marry, because that spoke volumes. I completely didn't understand that. He was just like, I'll go, you stay if you want. Passive aggressively. And then when she came into the room, and don't get me wrong, he was groggy. He had just woken up, and it was not the time and the place to have a serious conversation with that man. You should have kept it short Being like, do you want some water? No. Okay. Do you want anything else? No. Okay. Let him wake up. Let him take it all in. Don't start having any real conversations with him because that is not going to lead anywhere, which it didn't. But to be honest, I completely understood her. I felt like at certain points where she might have handled it wrong. But at the same time, when you're in that situation, what is the right way and what is the wrong way? Especially when you are in heightened emotions. And I don't know, but this couple, I have no hope. This is not a genuine connection. I feel like he has no intentions of marrying her. He said it himself. She's not his type. Love will grow. Saying comments like that never goes anywhere. As soon as he sees somebody that is his type, he will run or cheat. Joe is not to be trusted. Now, let's talk about yet another couple that just needs to be trashed. KB and the infamous Edmund. Now, Edmund has this internet riled up. Everybody is talking about him. And to be honest, I was getting ready to come here and pretty much trash the man. However, I'm going to try and be logical and I'm going to try and be fair. Same thing goes for the rest of the women here. KB, I love you, girl, but I am very skeptical about this relationship. I have no faith in this relationship. You are telling me that you are somebody that is tired of being strong all the time and you went to go and get a child? Make it make sense. You are telling me that you are somebody that wants a partner, that wants a genuine adult relationship, and you went to couple up with a child? Girl, no. No, oh, no way. I feel bad for Edmund because I can understand to a certain degree that life was not easy for him. And it's not because he's a bad looking guy. He is a black guy who grew up in a bad situation. He was raised in a hell house. And not only that, he lives in a white, like majority white state. I understand that. That comes with a lot of complications. However, I don't know, and it has not been confirmed that he has any complications, whether he is on the spectrum or he has any ADHD problems or anything like that. It has not been confirmed and he has not said anything about it either. And hey, maybe he just might be somebody who is super hyper, who has a lot of energy and is just youthful at heart. There are people that exist like that, out there. But I have to admit, there is something wrong with you if you are going down on the floor, kissing the floor, licking the floor. People walk there with their shoes on a daily basis, and you are going on that same floor where strangers are stepping on daily to kiss it, to lick it. Are you mad? I was completely and utterly disgusted. I do not care. I can give sympathy and empathy where it's due. When I saw Edmund, I was genuinely like, oh my word, my heart aches for this guy and his story, his background. And he's not a bad looking guy. So I was just like, I hope you get somebody that you love, that loves you, that cherishes you for who you are. Edmund, that was weird. That was wrong. How do we not know that at your grown age? You're 29 years old and you are getting on the floor to make out with the floor, knowing that you're about to get engaged and go on holidays with somebody that you're going to kiss. Whatever disease, whatever bacteria you just got from that floor, you're going to be passing it on to your future wife. What the fuck? Is this guy for real? So I went on his Instagram, I started stalking him, and he lives that character. He breathes it, he lives it. That's probably him naturally. He likes to dress funky. He likes to mix and match colors. He's very like, Urkel kind of a vibe, giving that Urkel vibe, But that little shenanigans, that little incident, I'm sorry. I do not support that. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. That is a horrible way to get attention. Brother, you came here looking like Urkel, jumping around with a lot of energy. You're bound to get attention. You will be getting attention. If your goal was to get further or to be, featured on the show, you would have gotten featured on the show regardless. Your fit, your little energy level is bound to get attention regardless. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm going on a rant, and I'm sorry, but I was just in shock and I was completely horrified because I knew at some point KB was going to have to kiss him. And knowing what I know, God, girl, go home, wash your mouth, brush your teeth, do everything to disinfect that mouth of yours for kissing that man. I am so sorry for you. I hope that they compensate you. You have the right to sue Netflix or whatever because that was not right. They played in your face. You kissed that man unknowingly that he was kissing the floor. Girl, I'm so sorry. Girl, whatever compensation you ask, you deserve. But one thing that I really was like, side eyeing KB for, she was being the person that she doesn't want to be the whole time. We didn't hear her story. We don't know who she is. We know she's a social worker, but we don't know much about her because, to my knowledge, he didn't ask that much about her. It was always about him crying, him expressing his emotion. How is that a balanced relationship? How do you fall in love with that? I don't know. I have no idea. But they met up, they kissed. God, they kissed. Yes, they kissed. It was cute in the beginning. I have to admit that. I was like, do I like this? I don't know. I don't know. But then he starts skipping, like hopping back to go and get the ring. And you could see from her face and her reaction that she was like, really? Really? It was ridiculous. To be honest, at that point, I expected her to exit stage left. I really expected her to be on Casey's juice, which is like, I'm sorry, I can't do this, I need to leave. That's what I expected. But she continued and they went on holiday. Your man was acting a fool at the pool party. As soon as he found out that he was the only one that didn't get laid, he acted like a child. So he goes there with sunscreen and starts putting sunscreen on her foot. Everybody around her was uncomfortable. Everybody, even she noticed it. And she was joking like, oh, you're just going to chase away my friends? Girl, you were uncomfortable to the point where he started licking your feet with the sunscreen. God, I don't even know if there's poison, like chemicals in that sunscreen that can affect you because there are certain products that say you should not eat this, you shouldn't like ingest this. I don't know because I don't know what ingredients and I don't know what it says on the label, but I was shooketh. I was so shocked that he actually put his mouth and started licking it after he put the sunscreen. It wasn't even dried. It was still white. There was still cream on her feet. And then he licks it and it's all over his mouth and tongue. And she actually goes and puts her hand on his tongue to scrape it off. I was mortified. It was embarrassing and it was just so awkward. And to be honest, I just feel like the fact that they showed it on TV was also a problem. After all these things that he has done, maybe somebody should have taken him to the side and be like, hey, we have somebody here and not necessarily a professional, but we just want to see if everything is okay, because I know that this experience can be intense and stuff, but are you okay before carrying on? Because that was not normal. And I thought it was over, to be honest. I thought that this is the extreme. Nothing else can happen, can beat this, right? Like, we are done with the weirdness, right? We are done with the worst, right? This is the worst that we've seen. And it should end here, right? No, it didn't. They were in bed and they were talking about if it was bothering him that they are the only ones that didn't sleep together, which I find incredibly annoying. Why is that a problem? You are different people. If those people choose to sleep with each other, that's on them. Focus on us. It's me and you. Why are we comparing each other, our relationship, to other people? Like he said, oh, I feel like we're the strongest couple. then why is it bothering you so much that you're not having sex? What the fuck? He starts acting like a child and literally crying. He starts crying like a child. That's when I understood that this is not normal and this should be stopped. To be honest, at that point, KB, you should have been like, I don't think this is going to work out, and I think that we should just call it quits, because you're not going to get me to believe that you really are genuinely catching feelings for that man after all of that has happened. It's so horrible to watch. Netflix, I need you to intervene. Now, the season needs to just be scrapped and they need to start over, because the amount of couples that are just faking it, that are not really genuine, that are just fake as fuck, is really getting on my last fucking nerve. By the end, I don't know how many couples will be standing at the altar, but I'm pretty sure that there will be probably one or two couples that will fall out along the way.